Okay guys, so a big part of any fitting is starting off with baseline numbers. So, great, we've got Andrew come in today. He is a long-time customer of ours. He was just telling us that he paid us a visit in 2017. That's when we first opened, and his golf game has come in a real journey. So any data we have in his previous golf clubs, it's not really going to be that relevant to what he's playing today. So got to get the specs on his Sim 2 Max 8 degree. It is a tour head, right? So these little details, are interesting and they do matter. So when you see that tiny, tiny little plus in there, right? Just a tiny little etching of a plus, you know that Drew got himself a tour head. Now, he hasn't told me he got a tour head, so, that will be a fun one when we go back there and kind of discuss when he got this, where he got this, etc. Kind of Brooks Koepka spec, Diamana D plus 70 TX. So all these little things, if you don't go down this discovery path before the fit, you're going to spend the first 15 minutes of the fit trying to figure out who's someone else, sometimes longer. And to be honest, we're shortcutting that significantly right now. So I can, hear Drew in there. He's doing super speed warm up. He's getting himself limbered up. And I already know that he's playing a 45-inch to end of grip, not end of shaft. We're going to take the swing weight of Drew's driver. So D3.9. If Drew told me he was struggling with his driver, and we're sort of going, okay, we know the head weight is 205, shaft weight's about 76, 77 grams, built to 45. He's got a Golf Pride Tour Velvet. Already we can tell additional wraps. Okay, so he's got this thing built up a little bit. We're building that picture in our mind. I'm expecting this to be a pretty tough one to beat, when it's spec'd out like this. Obviously, Sim 2 Max is a few years old now, so it's been in the bag for a few years. Some wear and tear going on in there, so I'm expecting this to be pretty good, which I like, when you see somebody come in with a 10-year-old driver and, it's not going to be a case of, are you going to improve them? It's just going to be how much are you going to improve them. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a challenge.
Yeah, tight one. I think the biggest thing is it's all tour spec. Like it's not an off the rack purchase. He's definitely tested some stuff, fitted with some stuff, and then, depending where he got it, maybe in pieces in a way. But it's definitely, it's not a basic driver.
Without a doubt. Okay, let's take a look. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Really excited to have, I'm going to call this our first official follower fit. Yeaman doesn't count.
The first two were fake.
Yeah, they were. He's a good friend of ours, Scott Yeaman, as you well saw in the videos. And this is actually a great one because when we put this out as a contest to enter, we end up getting a long-time client of ours from the early days.
Yeah.
Andrew Rusk. Andrew, great to see you. Good
nice
to see you, pal.
Well, yeah.
OG customer.
OG.
Yeah. Happy to be here.
Well, you were just telling me, we done a contest for one of the local forums, and you came in, that's when you first saw our studio out in the Burlington days.
That's right.
We don't even have that studio anymore. This is what became the Burlington studio, was the Mississauga one, Mikey, and it's cool to kind of come a little bit full circle. You've watched the content for most of the sort of years, since the start, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I'll tell you, the video he uploaded is award worthy. We'll add it to this video. It was very good.
We should.
Oh man, I don't know if anybody else is supposed to see that, but
not too bad.
yeah.
So we kind of put it out to Andrew. What do you want to get fit for? It's on. You tell us. And you said driver. You said that's where you want to focus today. Tell us a little bit about it. We haven't even dived into why you picked driver.
Driver's fun.
Okay.
It's driver's always one that I'm constantly tinkering with.
Okay.
I'm always trying to find the next best thing, or if you can improve a little bit.
Yeah.
Do it.
We'll
even this one, Diamana's a new addition within the last couple of rounds, actually.
Oh, really?
I came out of
tinker.
Oh, big time. I've got a little bit of a shaft wall myself. It was a hazardous blue RDX in there before that I kind of tried out after watching your guys' hazardous video a while back. So, this one, it's been pretty solid. But I've been struggling with some block fades that sneak in if I'm not really, concentrating what I'm doing. They just leak out on me. So I switched into this. Last couple of rounds have actually been really good. So I was actually really curious to see how it was performing on the
quad, yeah.
And the head you've played for the last couple seasons?
So this one, this will be second season on this head. Okay. I was actually fit into a Sim 2 9 degree with a Taylormade fitting. And it was great. And then I, being the tinkerer, had an opportunity to try out some of the TSRs.
Nice.
And the fitter put me in a TSR 2 8 degree,
Right.
and because he wanted to get the ball down. The 9 flew really high, and he wanted to see some lower ball flight, more penetrating ball flight, and we saw that.
Okay.
And it kind of opened my eyes, and I knew Taylormade has an 8 degree max because I tinkered with the 8 degree Sim 2.
Yeah.
But nothing but dive bombs. If you don't hit it perfect, you get those crazy hooks. So the max bumped the speed up a little bit, or sorry, the spin. And saw a better window, and I got that more penetrating flight. So yeah, it's been really good.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Tour head?
That's right. Yeah, you can't get the 8 degree off the shelf in the max.
So yeah, when we were taking the specs, I was like, okay, this is going to be a fun one because this isn't an off-the-shelf product by any means.
No.
You're kind of in Kepka spec as it is right now, right? So Sim 2, Diamana D plus, 70 TX. So obviously stout. Very, very stout. So this will be a fun one. I just want to see you hit a few. Out of 10, where would you say your level of comfort is with driver today?
Pretty good. Yeah, I would say like there was definitely in warming up, I saw a few of those ones that I don't like to see, those leaky ones. But yeah, there's a couple of good ones. There's a couple of key things that I need to think of to make sure that I get it turning over. But
love it.
Yeah, I know it's feeling pretty good.
Love it. Okay, well let's get some baseliners with this. We'll take a look at the numbers, Andrew. What do you like to see shape-wise?
When I'm swinging my best, like I'm pretty neutral usually. So it goes relatively straight, but when I'm swinging my best, it's just like the smallest little draw. But yeah, this guy's the one that's been plaguing me at the end of the season here. I've just been getting that little block fade.
Yeah.
The big thing for me, I'll get too, almost where the arms get too behind and stuck behind, which is obviously contributing. So trying to keep that more out in front. And like you said the other day, actually too, more length in that lead arm.
Yeah.
Getting it out there, get more turn.
Get that width working for you for sure. Yeah,
exactly.
And your RDX Blue, Andrew, was it same spec 70 TX?
It was, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, you said it rightly. You are a very neutral golfer, which is a blessing and a curse because when you're that neutral, it's kind of very easy to fall either side and have days where you just, it's not really apparent which side you should try to favor.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute you try and favor the draw, and then all of a sudden you start fading them, and then your start line's too far right, and you put it in trouble.
I have to kind of see what's happening on the range before I go out because it's true.
Do you ever think about that in terms of try to be one person rather than like skirting the line of neutrality? Did you ever try to be a draw player or a fade player? Do you ever do that?
Yeah, well, knowing how far you can hit a draw versus a fade, although I know you can set up a fade driver that can go pretty far. I will do that, and I got into that where I'm like, okay, hit a draw, and then you set up for the draw, and I block fade it, and it's that much further right because I'm already set up down the right. So, yeah, it's you said most of the time though, like I know when I'm swinging good, I don't really think much.
Good.
It's sort of just almost autopilot in a way. Like there might be 1 or 2 keys, and then just go.
Love it.
I only start overthinking when this starts happening. Then you start to analyze everything. And so.
Do you have any discrepancies of what you see in launch monitors versus on the golf course? Some people, the environment changes them a little bit.
Yeah. No, I'm a fan of this. If I had this at home, I don't think I'd ever leave. Yeah. No. Like it's pretty close.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very
I would
cool.
say it was pretty
The
close.
misses represent, that's kind of what you see. And
I'm not, that's me when I'm not surprised to see that at all.
Love
that.
Okay,
So,
let's see a few more.
couple more. Bottomy. Straighter, but out of the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little blocky one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw it in warm up, and then obviously we're seeing it here. The sort of block is the shot that we're going to try to kind of manage.
Yeah.
We kind of look at that. We get the straight one followed by, the peelers out to the right. We probably want to look at this first though, and have a look at kind of the way the strike dances around the head, and kind of say that would be, to be honest, objective number one, is to create some stability around strike point and let the sort of the session start to build from there. There's nothing that stands out on the build specs. You know, your D4 and swing weight, your 45 to end of grip. It's a great build. There's nothing about it that's kind of standing out that should cause you any issues. If we go over into, and this is obviously just based on where the strikes are, but we're seeing some kind of fairly high standard deviations across the board there. What's your handicap right now, Andrew?
Like a 5-6.
Awesome. So, I mean, if I was to say to you sort of today, how good does your balance feel?
Balance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think there's a little bit of nerves going on. I can feel a little bit shaky.
If I, just watch, like, when I see strike move around, I start watching the feet. Yeah. I start wondering, like, are we moving too much into the front? Are we moving, too much into the heels? Like, what are we doing? And for me, there looked like there was some sort of, and that can be like environment again. Like there's some stuff that's very quiet when it feels like all the cameras and stuff are in on you. But something to, I would just say, be inwardly aware of over the next kind of 5 shots is just make that your goal.
Balance.
Good balance, right? I'm going to make a swing and finish in great balance. Feel like you're really nicely finishing on sort of the lead side with everything stacked on that lead side and not falling too far outside that left foot, which at times is happening. So just make the next few swings while I grab some stuff for you. Okay. Just feeling good balance.
That's a good swing thought for sure. Okay.
All right, Andrew. So if we kind of just take a look at where we are from a baseline perspective on the delivery, we're about 115 when you're kind of cruising here. Dynamic loft is excessively high because the face is open, right? So that's not a true reflection of dynamic loft. So we don't need to go any lower than what you've got, that's for sure. Actually, probably, if anything, we're going to go the other way. We're going to just sort of dynamically maybe enhance sort of loft. Path-wise, you are consistently nicely to the right. You're hitting up on it. Ball data as a result. Again, these are largely affected by how that face is. So what are some of the ones that are on the shaft rack at home that you've sort of really liked in the past?
So I was getting along with that RDX Blue really well at the beginning of the season. It was a bit of a weapon, and then until this kind of stuff crept in. Yeah. But I've played with Tensai Orange. I've played with Ventus Blue, Ventus Black. What are some of the other ones? Tensai AV Raw White. Yeah. That was actually one of the ones that I got fit into with the regular Sim 2 9 degree. Okay. And that's what I have in my 3-wood as well. And it was pretty straightforward, that one.
Love it.
Yeah.
Closer there.
A little better. Again,
back to who do you want to be, like in the course. Like, I love to see that one. That to me was kind of a little bit of like, that's Andrew there. That's you when I think, if you're going to hit something that starts dead on line and actually just bleeds slightly to the right, and it gives you a little bit more stability in the spin and stuff like that. I think there's a lot to like about that one.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because that was one of the things in the last round that I was focusing on was really trying to square everything up. Yeah. Because I tend to, over time, will start to drift.
Get that right shoulder popping out.
And trying to be more almost closed or let the foot come back and be a little more closed.
The first thing that kind of made me think of it is when I saw how much your right grip sits in your fingers. Yeah. So, you can very much see, like, that right hand wants to sort of sit on top a little bit. And, that, as opposed to, as a sort of, back to sort of Mike Adams, are you sort of top side or under? If you see somebody who's very much right hand and top and struggling with the right, you either want them to embrace who they are or you want to change, that hand and right side position. Yeah. So a few more.
And I find too, anytime I kind of drift out of kind of normal or neutral, it is just some minor setup things.
Yeah, that's it. Your swing's great. It really is. I mean, there's lots to like about your move. I mean, I love the sound of those three, to be honest. Like, they sounded very, very solid.
the strike pattern's a little better on those.
Amazing. Yeah, really, really good. Objective number one, which was to get the strike under control and to see those three just painted on top of one another. I'm over the moon with that.
Yeah.
You give any decent club fitter a consistent strike, and you know they'll make the ball do what you need it to do. It's when the face and the strike start to sort of contradict one another. Right, you can get an open face and a heel strike, or square face and a toe strike, and you know they start to. It's never the face or the strike independently making the ball doing what it's doing. It can change from time to time. That's what's hard.
You can immediately feel more club head. It's interesting. This ping head, I have less feel of where I'm hitting it on the face.
Really? Okay.
Like, I mean, with my driver, I'm familiar with it. I know exactly where I'm hitting it every time I strike. This, it's like that was a little bit muted or like kind of numb.
Yeah.
And it was
Does
like,
it feel? But it feels heavier than what you're currently playing.
the head weight is definitely heavy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, notoriously in the industry they are.
The pings are.
Are heavier. Yeah. The nice thing is they've given us a toolbox of weights that you can play around with some stuff.
Sure.
But
the two-way miss. This is a good
higher strike.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's you say trending in the back, getting it back over. I don't feel like I'm losing them out to the right. Just gotta kind of bring it back into neutral. There we go.
Does the head feel quite significantly different in terms of weight?
Yeah, there's definitely more head feel here.
More mass, yeah.
290 baby fade. I'll take it all day long. Yeah, really good.
Oh boy. Good.
It's a tighter little shot shape.
Yeah. Yeah, because even if it's not all of it, you know, you're sort of can play with that all day.
Yeah, that stays in
all
play
day,
at least.
every day.
And that's all she wrote, folks.
What do you sort of sense when you swing it? What sort of are you aware of?
Right now, the main is the grip size.
change, yeah.
And I've experimented with mid-sized grips. I don't mind the way they feel. I just never really got on with them.
Yeah.
You know?
And this, it can be, we always talk about stacking the kind of design characteristics of the driver on top of one another. Sometimes if you try a grip, but you've got a few other things working against it, it can make you think, oh, that grip didn't work.
Yeah.
When you never had a chance in the first place, right? That driver, that setup, that face angle, that CG location, all those things were always going to override what is a marginal gain. Because a grip change is never going to be a game changer. It really isn't. You know, give someone long enough, they'll figure it out. They'll figure out the feel and all that sort of stuff. But what I love to think about club fitting is the stacking of marginal gains to create big changes, right? So maybe 7, 8 things, CG location, change of head weight, change of CG location of the shaft, move it up. All those different things have actually changed the loft profile a little bit to be up slightly. So there's probably 7 or 8 new things in this driver, even from the last one, that are all stacking on top of one another. And if every one of them is 1%, we now have nearly 10% working in our favor, which can be significant.
Yeah.
Let's see a few more.
Okay.
Really good. I mean, that looked like the most effortless 300 in the air you'll see anywhere. Strike was fantastic.
That was a little heely,
Okay.
but not terrible.
Not a wipeout. Yeah, definitely not a wipeout. It's right rough, but it's not dead.
Yeah.
So, like, again, back to, like, swing DNA itself, slightly out to in on the average in open face. So,
Out to in? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah. So let's play with that a little bit. So let's kind of, you saw that and you were on your own and you were having a session in the bay and you want to go, no, I want to turn that into 3 degrees in to out.
Okay.
Hit a couple like that for me.
Sure.
Okay, you know, quickest and easiest thing to change for somebody with a swing as good and neutral as yours, just a little bit of alignment. Aim a little more right. Really
That
good.
was a little toey one, but
Yeah,
I like seeing it come back.
It's good. And part of the reason of us having that CG in the heel in the H2 position is that I want a toe strike to be more protective than normal. Because if we have an open face to the path, right? And we have a CG location that's even toe side or center, that ball doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Right? We get the true relationship of the ball's interaction with the face, not the CG. So the ball stays out there.
Yeah.
And then we get a phenomenal result. We kind of get a miss hit that flies, 300.
Yeah.
One of the things I really didn't love about your Taylormade driver, when I saw the right miss as well, Andrew, was the dynamic lie angle as low as it was.
Flat?
Yeah, very, very flat. So averaging about 2.5 degrees toe up. It's a little bit scary when you've got a right miss. So again, talking about compounding or so those little marginal gains, if we can get it in that 5 region, which is where we are right now, it just tilts that face a little bit more left for us.
Were those drivers pretty flat to begin with, like in the standard setting?
Yeah, they were. 50, Taylormade is standard because it has a 4-degree lie angle sleeve.
Yeah.
Starts at 56 and goes up to 60.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that being a tour head, we'd need to see what the tour reading was because they have a different tolerance and variance.
And they could have
some of them can
or
not so much bent it because we do that with the loft sleeve itself.
Sure.
But it might have a tolerance within the actual manufacture of the head.
Right.
So it might be 57.5 or 58.5 or whatever it might be.
In the flatter direction there. Okay. Immediately, this has more feel. I was saying to Mikey there, the ping, I felt like it was almost, I was sort of numb to where it was on the face.
That's the MOI.
Yeah.
That's when the MOI is as high as that, and you are desensitized to where the strike is and your ability to react changes as well. With the level of carbon also in the ping, you have a different acoustic. You get the vibrations different. So being an all titanium head, the pitch goes higher and actually it changes. You're more aware of the strikes based on the head construction as well.
So interesting.
Okay, got that start line where we wanted it.
And say, was that your in to out?
It was really, really good. Okay, so let's change things up ever so slightly. Let's hit it on the left side of the flag with a start line.
I feel so crooked right now, but that's okay. Yeah, that one felt definitely more cutty.
It's an odd feel for you. Let's get a couple more. Really like the start line of it. It just cut away a little bit.
I think that's I find when I set up open like that, I immediately default to that, like to the cut.
Yeah.
Just starting down the left.
Normally, to be honest, if you get somebody who pushes the path left and they've got to hold the face open to keep it going target, the speed goes down a little bit. Your speed went up a little bit. So it's just sometimes an indication that you're kind of leaning into someone's a kinematic sequence that they actually can handle and they do quite nicely with it. So let's have a few more.
Going back to the maybe I'm just a fader and I got to accept it. Oh, wow. Immediately you can feel it. Stout, man. Is this the TR too? Oh my goodness. All right. Hello.
If you were in a test session, the first one you saw with that, you'd be pretty pleased, wouldn't you? Like the just tight little draw.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's for some people that's a little bit like, it's slow spin. But like for someone like yourself, like if you see that, you're like, okay, we're really close already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I see when I look at that. Okay. Let's see here.
Did you move that weight from H2 to H1?
H2 to H1, but it's gone over to T1 now.
T1 green weight, right?
Very, all of a sudden that strike finding itself high. So there's not enough shaft deflection. So what you're getting is, so if the shaft deflects, it's going to do two things. It's going to go this way and it's going to go that way. And it should actually, if it's in lead deflection, start to present the lower part. So if we take it from there and go that way, we're starting to deliver the bottom of the club. We're just not getting any of that with this.
Huh.
Shafts don't matter, eh?
Yeah. That one felt like it was hard to move forward through the shot. Like it was literally kind of stuck behind me or lagged behind me.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt like it took a lot more effort. And yeah, so speed came down too.
Somewhere between the two.
Yeah. That one feels like work to move it.
To square it up.
Yeah, for sure. Which was funny. Yeah, the black didn't feel, I could just swing it and it was going left.
Strike's exactly where we want it. It's kind of why I'm not really kind of like saying anything or doing anything different. It's just when the path just gets out to in like that, it's just a little bit of setup and like you're doing, or
It's
the club's
getting it out to in
delivering into
again.
the right places. Like that dynamic loft is going to be probably 16, between 16 and 17 if you square up the face. Everything's going to be good if we just get that little
So
bit.
try to get more
timing.
inside again.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Just try and get that feel for just turning one.
Okay.
That's really close. Closer. Nice to see if you do turn one there that it doesn't just dive. I mean, that stayed in there for a long, long time considering we turned it over.
Strike is incredible though, eh? They're all,
Yes,
like you
you
said.
time this shaft great. You really, really do. Look at the look of your swing when you release it that little bit. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
1-8 from the inside, just kind of trying to hit that nice little tight draw.
Yeah, I would love to see one just square up properly. I love that strike pattern though. That is nice. Yeah.
Okay, play around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
You get a little feel for what too much feels like now, so you can kind of back off that touch. That's nice.
Oh, hello.
You feel comfortable with this shaft?
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, it doesn't feel like I'm fighting it.
No.
There's that little Healy one again.
Okay. Go right back to the start of when we built this thing for you, like right back to kind of seeing that same thing again. I do see from time to time we need that heel. I wanted to go higher MOI in the TSR2 just to see what it does. When it's good, it's really, really good, but it doesn't really gear the way I need it to on the miss hits. Like that one there in the heel, like I need that one to fly straighter than that. I don't want it to kind of peel away as much as that. So back to TSR3.
Yeah, it's that little same kind of low heel one again.
Right, and look at the different,
So much
the
tighter.
different
Yeah.
flight. Like you just get heel strike to behave differently.
There we go.
So good.
Beauty.
Perfect.
I'd like to see more of that middle again.
Middle again, and it just it's the path in the face, right? They move always back. They want to default to being as neutral as they are when we're trying to go out to the right so the face knows to close. The face doesn't know what to do if you get neutral. So it needs the message, and if the path goes right, the face knows to go left. Swing, Andrew. Good. Every time you hit it solid with this thing, I love everything about it.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's got great balance of launch, spin, speed. I love the misses with it. You know, I'm kind of really...
They don't get away like
They
the other
really
ones.
don't. You've missed a few kind of when you first put it back in at this setting. So on the SureFit chart, this would be what we call C3, which is actually up and loft a little bit, up and lie angle a little bit.
Okay.
So we're kind of getting our head to sit a little more up and left, just so we don't kind of have that exposed open face.
Yeah, which has the downfall with me with the driver is that exact thing.
If you can bottle that little three-way combo there, attack angle, path, and lie angle, give me that all day long.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, look at that as well. That actually should have been a cut, open face, and then a heel strike, right? But we've got the CG in a position that actually doesn't do that for you. So we're manipulating the shot based on where we're setting the driver up for you, which is cool. If we were to give you an absolute, the most standard neutral driver in the world, that's a cut.
Off I go, yeah.
Like if you were to go and play, with as a 5-6 handicap, and this was your Arcos numbers, it would quickly tell you a plus handicap driver of the golf ball. There's not a really big miss in this particular driver with you. You hit it plenty long enough. By the time you get used to it and you sort of get your start lines with it and stuff like that, you'd be a plus handicap driver of the golf ball very quickly. What is as you hit balls with it over time, like what does the grip feel like?
It still feels kind of big.
Do you think you might be standard with some build up or something?
Yeah, I typically build up. I'll have standard like tour velvet, but I'll use one layer of half of build up tape under the bottom. Yeah,
I think I'd be interested to see you try that as well, just to see what it does for face control.
Yeah.
But yeah, standard built up. What's your glove size? Medium, large?
Depending on the glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, medium, large. I noticed the last couple of years, some of the Nike gloves I had to go to a large because they were just a bit smaller or tighter. But yeah. Yeah, for that, it's tight fit. Medium, large usually works out pretty good.
Sign us off with a beauty. Oh, so close.
I know, I just want it just a little.
No.
But I mean, that's the strike.
So nicely hit. It really was. Okay. Any sort of thoughts? Any questions? I'm really confident and comfortable with you in this driver. Kind of going around different profiles and kind of everything we tried, which was quite a lot. Wesley didn't move around brands too much. It wasn't really about that. It was kind of more to move the things we could move. I think Titleist. I wasn't anything I felt we were missing out from not trying a Cobra or a Taylormade or anything like that. Anything else you would want to kind of address?
In the driver? No, this is feeling pretty good.
Okay.
I would like you said, I would like to try it with maybe the standard grip.
Yep.
But
do you want me to throw that on for you? I mean, it's got 2 wraps of tape on there. I'll throw the standard on there just to give you a feel of it.
Just to give it a feel. Sure.
Yeah. So I think for where we've sort of ended up with this, Andrew, we've kind of had a few different. We've kind of ended up in this 2 or 3 times this head and shaft combo and moved weights around and different things. It's just fascinating to watch. When we went Ventus black, we missed it left. We went TZ5, we missed it right. And then we knew we had something good with that, and then we revisit this, go back to the original weight settings, into the heel in H1, turn up the loft a little bit. It gives you such a nice balance of good speed, great launch, spin is fantastic.
I love the fact that Ventus Black TR was going left for all of the
absolutely
the stiff shafts don't go left believers.
Yeah, me too. I love when I see stuff like that. It's just all right. Let's got your grip on there now, so it should start to feel very much like the finished product here. Oh boy, great stuff.
So good.
It's premium driving. Premium driving.
So that one was a little down.
Yeah, a little bit in the toe and 12.5 and 2200. I mean, you'll hear those are more meaningful than the 170s. They really are.
Oh yeah.
Like if you miss it, what does it do?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good's always going to be good, right?
Definitely, exactly.
How bad is the miss?
Yeah. All right, one more.
Try to say that one was a little down on the speed. Let's see if we can get it back up again. After that little break.
Getting Mike and I all fired up for our speed journey here watching this.
Oh, I'll be right there with you, buddy, over the winter.
So good.
Yeah, I'll take that all day.
Yeah,
as a
I'll take
miss.
that as well. Take that as well. Great. Well, that was awesome. That was definitely.
Thank you so much.
That was a different direction. I thought we were going to go in a little bit of a different direction than that. With yours, I thought we were going to be sort of. I don't know, I thought we were going to be dealing with some really, really long ones with yours and trying to kind of obviously play the game of, well, let's look for 7 out of 10, not 2 or 3 out of 10. And, you know, an interesting driver, but building consistency with this, this is very, very different.
Yeah, this is great. It feels good. And I mean, you can't argue with what we saw. So, yeah.
The nice part at the start, like when you get a player like yourself that comes in with some speed, you can get some fitters that right away geared towards 70-gram shafts, 80-gram shafts. And Ian and I are pulling some shafts. I mean, we've all got, you know, our go-tos and stuff like that. No one pulled a 7. Now, it's heavier, some stiffer stuff as well, for sure, but nothing was 70. Not saying that's totally wrong, but we just didn't think it was necessary. And, you know, an ST Accra is definitely not for the slower player, that's for sure. But it's a hell of a combo. The biggest thing for me, the takeaway is those little cuts that you hit, like they're perfect. They're absolutely
still on a good win.
Yeah,
there,
totally.
So playable. And that's, you know, you're not going to get to scratch by hitting it longer. You know, you're not going to get to scratch by hitting it. You know, you're going to get to scratch by missing it better.
Right.
And that's what's going to be more meaningful for you. So I like to think of these driving sessions like a strokes gain session, right? How are we gaining new strokes on the golf course, not yards on the launch monitor? That doesn't really mean much in the cold light of day when you're under the gun and you've got to hit a shot.
Yeah.
Hitting it far won't really get it done, but certainly, you know, hitting it nice and straight and far will certainly get it done.
Yeah, we love that.
It was very cool, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, that was the real process. I mean, I don't know how many balls we ended up hitting there. 65. Probably was a good hour and 15 minutes or something like that.
Changing grips, changing weights, changing.
That was the gambit.
Every setting you can do. We do it for the slow swing speed, the new players, the veterans, the fast guys. We do that all the time.
I mean, I think poor Andrew's going to drive home with his head puzzled that, oh, geez, he's changed my tee height. I've got to grip down it now. We're doing all these different things.
Nothing I already don't do myself.
Yeah, I know. You're one of us.
Really good points, for sure. Yeah,
one
definitely.
But all those little pieces that matter. So fun to add all those
The
in.
little things that add up.
They really, really do.
Yeah.
Guys, hope you enjoyed it. We are so excited about the follower fitting series. So excited we had Andrew back in, and it was kind of, as we said at the start, full circle from seen as a company at our very start, which is awesome. It really is cool. So hopefully it's one of you next time. Stay tuned. It's going to be a monthly session. Next time we do it, I'd love to dive into, you know, we do a lot of drivers and irons. We've done that with Scott when he was in. Be cool to do like wedges and putts. Do a little short game session with the next fall. So if that sounds like you, if it's your struggles are with this sort of short game, I know you were saying with wedges, you're probably going, maybe I could do some stuff with
there was
wedges.
a minute there I was like, maybe we should have done wedges.
No, this will matter for sure, and we can definitely tackle some wedges with you at some point, no doubt about that. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.